the 25 seconds before. You don't really know what happened the 25 seconds after. And a lot of it's taken right out of context. You don't know what you passed. You don't know what you were near. And I think a lot of it has to do with, sure, there's some videos that speak for themselves plainly, right? There's some of them people doing exactly what shouldn't be done. You can see full well on board what's happening. But there are other things that mitigate what transpires. And I think the videos offer us an opportunity to find out a way and to help y'all. I will tell y'all, there are a couple of things. Number one, the chat room that you mentioned of, I think we're working on something, right, Dylan? We're working on an aspect of where we're going to have like a chat room deal. Can't believe I'm still talking to him. I'm not even supposed to be talking to you. I
like how he peeks up over the screen.
Yeah, he peeks up over the screen and does that.
He has the Wilson look over there. I think
one of the things that we're going to try to do is we're going to try to have an open mic deal discussion with drivers and just kind of not really mitigate. I mean, monitor it and stuff like that. He said I'm not on the show. Good stuff. Thank you, sir. With Mr. I've got my poster board. Those are cute cards, by the way. That's how I know what I'm.
I like this.
Yes, I like the new logo.
You do like the new logo?
Yeah.
That, I mean, I like the fact that Bob can stand up and, like do the weather. I really like the weather in the morning. And that's one of my biggest deals. Wish we could do traffic. But
traffic is so localized.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so localized, and it's ever-changing quicker to me.
But the weather's nice.
The weather's nice. I think the traffic is difficult to do. If you only wanted to do it in a specific region, it would be easier because, I mean, what are we going to talk about, 360?
Right, right.
How many drivers across the 48 is that?
Or Atlanta. Hey, you're going to Atlanta. Traffic sucks.
Yeah, you're going to Atlanta, traffic sucks. There's a newsbreaker.
Right.
And stuff like that. So my deal is, how can we do more? Or we're going to try to word this right. We're going to try to open this up to other drivers. We're going to try to create this bigger and better for everybody, right? Not just BCB transport. BCB Live is the promise, the mission for us is to make this better for across the country for all drivers.
So I know it costs money, but I mean, I'm sure you've seen Fry Miller.
That's what I was just about to say.
On the back of their trailers, it says Fry Miller Radio.
It says, hey, I listen to Fry Miller Radio at frymiller.com. We need stickers that say that. Just slap them on the back of our trailers.
All right, we need better advertisement. You're saying
I think that's
because
the only
right
way
now
you
it's
can
just
do
word
it.
of mouth from our drivers.
Right.
But how often are we really doing it?
How often are we really
I've
stopping
never
it?
told
I mean,
anybody about BCB Live.
What?
I take that back.
Anthony my
Alley.
God, it's out.
Anthony Alley.
It's a secret.
No, Anthony Alley. Alan Arnold was talking to them, trying to get them back. And we were talking to them, trying to get them back. And he's like, do you mind if I come on the radio show? And I'm like, the more the merrier, come on.
Right.
And he's logged on. He's been logging on.
Oh, nice. The promise and the principle behind what we're doing here is that it's not just us, right? Not just our family. What we really want to do, and I want your take on it, what we really want to do is we want to incorporate the whole idea and the whole principle to all drivers.
We ought to start doing that as we're recruiting.
I do tell them about the radio show.
I don't.
You're slacking. I tell them. We have a
That's why I'm
safety call
second
that we
chair.
do twice a day,
That's why I'm second chair.
That's why you're second.
It's our truck. Hey, man.
And they're like, what do you mean a safety meeting? And I'll tell them, no, it's not a meeting. It's a radio show. I said, but it's also a TV show now that we have. I said, it's a live feed. I said, and you're allowed to get on there and talk, share your views. I said, they want to hear your views. It's not one of them where they talk at you. I said, they show you videos, they show you weather, they tell you current news. I said, because how often can you stop and watch the news?
It's not an open
door policy. You don't have to because Dylan gives us the news. I'll give us the safety portion. Bob gives us the weather portion and the safety. I mean, you got it all in a radio show. I tell people about it. Slacking.
You know what? You need to get the word out. It's a promise. I mean, and I tell you what we try to do is what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to make it better for you and to us and everything. So get out and look. Here we are. Let's talk about it today. We're at 0. And for BCB Transport, it's a big deal to me to bring it up to somebody that drives and somebody. Now, I know that y'all have teams, but usually the other team member is supposed to be resting. I mean, typically that's what's supposed to be happening, right? You're supposed to be getting enough rest out there. How important? What is your process for getting out and looking? Do you find yourself doing it regularly or all the time?
Yeah.
And in all honesty, you do it
I do it.
honestly.
I do it because I'm not as experienced as him. But if I get into a tight spot, I'm weird. If you give me a wide open lot, I look like a rookie out there trying to back in these trailers. I'm all over the place like a sidewinder. If you put me in a tight spot, I'll nail it every time because I know I'm under pressure. But I get out and look a lot. If there's a situation where I don't feel comfortable, you can ask him. I've woke him up. Hey, get up and help me do this.
Yeah, and I think, and I'll tell you, we all out in the wide open lot, and there's nobody in all of the lanes, and all you have is the white strip. You just have the lines out there. And I believe one of the reasons why it's a little more difficult is there's no point of reference. No point of reference on a truck. So when you're looking in the mirrors and you see a tractor or a different truck, you know right where it is, and you know right where it stands. You know why? Because that's what you do all day long. You have no point of reference. So when you're out there in the wide open lot, there's no genuine. You look in the mirror and there's nothing there, and all you see is the lines on the ground. It makes it a little bit more weirder and a little bit more difficult.
We backed up more in the last 2 days.
We have
in the last 6 months.
That was the one thing we were spoiled on in FedEx. Everything's pull through. You don't back in nowhere unless you're backing in a door, and we don't even do that.
Yeah,
the guard dogs do it.
Yeah, they do that.
They don't allow you. They won't even allow you to hook up to a trailer
and a door. That's a safety deal, because they've got those guys in those trailers throwing those packages in crazy like that. So. And we lost it today, right? We lost it today because yesterday we didn't get out and look, and we didn't do the things that we aspire to do here every day. I'm going to tell you this, and I want you guys to see what y'all think. We understand mistakes are going to be made. What we're looking for is progress in the belief that it works, the system works, that the program works, and that the ideal works. And it's imperative that that you believe in that. And my question is, how much of what we do here do you believe in?
Probably more than you know.
More than you think. Yeah.
I mean, really, we've been. It slowed me down. I'm a very aggressive driver, and it slowed me way down. I'm more defensive than aggressive, but I do find myself every once in a while in a hurry. But it's more like El Paso. Being honest. Coming into El Paso and you got drivers cutting you off.
Odessa is my peeve. Midland, Odessa, all the oil field drivers.
But we do back off. I mean, you don't see very many videos of us being stupid because we try not to.
I'm too paranoid to ride somebody's tail.
Is the program and the talking and the stuff?
But that's just it. In the morning, it gets in your mind in the morning.
Yes, it's in the back of my mind, especially when I'm coming up on something and I get a little too close and that beep beep starts. I'm immediately like wanting to back off because I'm so afraid that camera's about to kick on and they're going to have me on TV showing me tailgate somebody.
And we will.
I don't want to be that driver.
And we will have her video on first if you get the BBB.
All y'all doing the right thing. Oh, well, so-and-so did this and he did it perfect. Well, here's Jeanette Hayes. She's tailgating this car. Y'all are going to say my name. I know you will.
We don't. We don't. I don't think you don't think you've ever
heard it. Does, though, like in the morning. I mean, it kind of calms you down and brings that reassurance in the morning. Hey, look, today's a good day. Slow down, take your time. And you're not in a big hurry.
Yeah, and I know that, and out of personal experience, and I did want to talk about it. There's a lot you can do, and no matter how safe you drive, things are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Things are going to happen to you. Things are going to be out there. What we can do is do the best we can. And full well, personal experience, that no matter how well and how safe and how whatever you're doing, stuff just happens.
I have, in October, will be 4 years I've had my license. I've been hit twice.
And it was no fault of your own. But what we're trying to do here is be so passionate about safety that we want you to always be, and I guess we want you to understand that our passion is genuine. Our passion is real. I hope that you understand that what Sir Rick and Brian and myself and Dylan and everybody on the show, how much we believe in it and how important
That's one of our recruiting tools. That's one of our recruiting tools.
When I got hit by that drunk driver last July, for you and Rick and I can't even remember.
Bob called
Everybody.
you at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It was like 2 and 3 in the morning Central Time, and y'all were all calling. Are you okay? Are y'all okay? You know, what can we do? What do you need? What do we need to do right now? And I'm thinking, and I'm sitting there. I'm so sorry. I got you out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning for this. And they're like, don't worry about that. I was up. Yeah. What can I do for you? That spoke wonders to me of how y'all stepped up, and just jumped in and took care of us.
I just like the honesty.
Really,
I like the honesty aspect of it.
Yeah, I tell you, I appreciate that, and let me just tell you, and I try to convey that to the drivers, and I try to convey that on the show. But let me tell you, there is nothing more passionate that I am personally involved in, nothing more important to me here than safety. It means more to me genuinely here to do whatever I can, and I am working every day to make it better for myself. Because I fall, just like a driver out there may make a mistake, right? Or may get too close for a minute, or may pull over without hitting a signal, or may do certain things in the day.
He has a bad day.
He has an opportunity to get better, right? He has an opportunity. And I personally am the same way. I have an opportunity. I catch myself talking bad when I'm not supposed to talk bad, or I catch myself not or worrying about certain things when I should be putting this first and doing certain, and I've got to, and I have to reassert myself every day on how important it is. For me personally, I find that prayer is the answer on a lot of my issues, personal prayer. I have to do that. But in regards to that, I feel like we need to look at it the same way. You have an opportunity today as a driver, right? Fix whatever it is you did yesterday, right? To do a little bit better today. And a little bit better yesterday. I am so excited that you guys take part in recruiting. I am excited that y'all take part in the radio show. I am excited that y'all take part in BCB as a whole. It is fantastic to know that, it's family. We talk about family, right? A lot of trucking companies say, oh, we're family-oriented business. I truly believe that, we may yell at each other, right? Just we may get into it, but we'll clear the air.
But that's how family works.
Yeah, we'll clear. We'll figure it out together, right? And I just want, and I'm glad that y'all are a part of the genuine process, man. I wanted to bring y'all in and say thank you, say we appreciate you, tell you how much we love you guys, and that everything about what it is y'all do really, really makes it better for all of us here at BCB.
That goes both ways. We feel the same about you.
I'm not a groupie. But I am very passionate about BCB.
Nice.
I tell everybody about them. I'm not scared to walk up to another driver, tell them about them. We recruited 3 drivers at one time on the fuel island yesterday. I talk very loud, and I recruited a driver without even knowing it because I was talking so loud.
We thought he was yelling at us for blocking the on or whatnot. No, he had a mask on, so he was saying, hey, that sounds pretty good. He's 2 pumps away, and he hears Justin talking to this team. So I turned around, and I was like, well, you want a card? I said, I got a card for you. I said, we can talk. And I ended up getting his name, so.
My biggest pet peeve here is still maintenance, is drivers not worrying about their tires. Drivers not reporting trailers, drivers, if you make a mistake and you blow a tire or you hit something, pick up the phone.
Right.
Get it fixed. I have never had a problem getting a tire. I've never had a problem getting an oil change. I've never had a problem getting a new refrigerator. I've never had a problem with nothing. You just got to
pick up the phone.
A closed mouth don't get fed.
Get it done. Get it done. Let me know when you're ready for a number.
And I'm going to ask.
Tires are my worst, dude. I am all about some tires because that goes along with protecting life at all costs.
Yeah, I agree with you. But in the same essence, it does take both ways, right? And I think the maintenance team has done a much better job of jumping on problems, assisting drivers, and I think they do a fantastic job of getting out there and communicating back. Like if you say, "Hey, I got a tire," right? I mean, they usually go after it right away. But you got to tell them, right?
Exactly.
And if you have to drop the trailer and you can't get it,
send a 39
I did
code.
that.
Yes.
yeah, just send it in.
At least let us know so they can send somebody out there to get it fixed, so you can save the next driver some time.
Yeah,
that's
do
my
what you
biggest.
Yeah, I called Ben. Hey, man, I really need to. I don't remember what was going on with that trailer.
Brake chamber.
Brake chamber. I had a brake chamber that froze up on me, and I was 40 miles from dropping the trailer, and I started hearing it backlash through my valves. And I called him. He said, "Yeah, man, just drop it, and I'll send me a 39 code, and I'll get somebody on it before the next driver comes and gets it."
See, and that's working.
It was
together.
that easy.
It's that easy. And you know what? You didn't do anything wrong.
And I mean, I probably, hopefully,
while you're driving
hopefully it
down the
gets
road,
fixed
you
and
get
somebody else didn't have to worry about it. But, you know, Jeanette's brother works here. Hey, Ricky, good to see you. His very first load, missing mud flaps and a bad tire.
Mud flaps, bad tire, and then it kind of box on the back. That box. What was
that load too?
I think, yeah.
The first and the second trailer both back to back.
It was dangling by the
He
wires.
spent hours in the shop getting them fixed. Two trailers back to back, very first two loads.
Yeah, and I hate that. I hate that for anybody. I hate that for anybody. Not just. And
that's just my biggest pet peeve here because it's so easy. Y'all made it so easy. Dispatchers can pay for it. Maintenance can pay for it. You know, even though you're not in head of maintenance no more, we can still call you.
Yeah, and I think that's a big deal. Communication. You know, that's the second name in our company, right? Besides being safe, it's communicating, and I think it works both ways. And I think this is part of it. You know, listening to what's going on and trying to affect change. You know, and doing everything that we can to make.
We're trying to get new trailers in.
We are trying to get new trailers. Trailers are hard to come by.
Oh yeah, them Dallas Miller trailers are.
Oh my God, I'm telling you.
We have some dinosaurs now.
No, we do have some dinosaurs, but I'm telling you, it's hard to get. Even get parts or anything. So anyway, I just wanted to bring y'all in, have a conversation, kind of get everybody to know who you are, what it is you're running. Truck number 7060.
Yeah, 7060.
If you see their truck out there, bump elbows with one of them that's out there at the fuel aisle, or you can just hear Justin screaming at somebody trying to recruit in the fuel aisle.
I got the prettiest truck in the fleet, so you can't miss it.
You can't miss it. Great job.
My wife wants a new one, Rick, so.
No chickens, no new truck.
You didn't put chicken lights on them.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
She is highly disappointed there's no chicken lights on the new truck.
You gave us the brush garden yet.
We hadn't seen a pink one yet either, so no chicken lights.
I saw a pink Volvo yesterday.
But you did not see our pink Volvo. But you know what? If that's going to be a safer truck, then it is what it is. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for what you do. We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
And y'all are awesome. With that, hey, everybody, I want to say a quick prayer and we'll get out of here. Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to say thank you in all things. We ask for your grace today. We ask for your help and we ask for your forgiveness. Father, give us the strength and the courage to go out and be a blessing upon somebody today. Watch out for them, keep them safe, and make them a big part of what happens today in the world in any way and whatever we can do to do that. Father, thank you so much for everything. With that, say thank you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, good morning and welcome to BCB Live. We are the safest station in the nation. Thankful to have you here with us today, celebrating 90 days of driving safe, 5 days of getting out and looking. It's a little bit of Dolly Parton action going on here. Working 90 to 5. What a way to drive safe. Drive safe, Dave. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
You know what?
I hope everything's going well. I'll tell you what. We had a.
Why would you ask me how I'm doing, and then I'll tell you how I'm doing?
I don't really want to know.
Come on, dude. I just feel excited. I'm like, man, he's going to ask me how I'm doing.
How are you doing,
and then
Sir
you
Rick?
go to answer the question yourself. Just tell me about you, Drive Safe.
I'm actually doing pretty well. Had a little bit of excitement going on the weekend. Been trying to get ready for this thing in 12 days, trying to get ready for what's about to transpire. Not only that, the kids closed on their house, so moving stuff over there, it's just chaos at the Dover.
Is it 12 days till the wedding?
12 days.
Yeah, you know what? It just seems like yesterday it seemed like a year away. And here it is, 12 days. You have a closing going on. I called you over the weekend, and here you are. You're getting fitted for a tux?
Suit. Yeah, I got a
suit.
I bought it. No, I bought a new suit.
All right.
Well, you know what? I didn't. I put the old one on, kind of.
Let me tell you something. For those of you that have bought their suit, and if it's been, say, greater than a year ago, let me tell you, that will bring you down. That's hard on you when you put it on.
And you're like,
you're like, the jacket. That's the part that gets you.
This thing messed up while it was in the closet, and I'll tell you, I put it on, and not only did it not fit well here, but I think my arms have gotten smaller.
What was the Saturday night thing? Saturday Night Live thing? Fat guy.
I was looking it up right now to put that on.
That guy in a little suit. Yeah, that was me. That was me on Wednesday, and then so we went ahead and went out and got it done, and not just to get. Alterations.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fat guy in a little coat.
That was me. That was actually me.
Honey, how does it look?
He was like, we're going to get a new suit. So we went and got a new suit this weekend and did well. Looks nice. Went solid, went traditional, went black.
Right, so one more thing on the suit. And it's been a many years since I went out and got fit for a suit, but it's also humiliating because when you go buy your jeans, you can still just buy 36s, 34s, whatever you wear, but they tell you what you really should wear.
Oh, no. They tape measured me. The tailor was on me, reaching around, doing all this, up in the middle, and then then they're always marking, where they're going to do the alterations and cuts and everything. And I had a good time. The guy was nice. It was a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah, there's nothing cheap. Nothing cheap about it. You know what? You're all in at this point here. Hey,
it's too late. I'm off the cliff.
So I had a couple of things. My daughter, she got her sorority.
Oh, nice.
I can't remember which one it is, but she's pumped up. She's
probably
excited.
With Greek letters.
Oh yes, it's the Greek letter thing. But no, she's excited. Katie Bug, and most of you know Katie Bug. She's got her second interview going on, I believe, today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's like the Larkin household.
Wait a minute, she got
they're
for
moving
what, a
up.
CEO position for a second interview? What, like a chief financial officer of a corporation?
What? That's what I'm thinking. Who does a second
Who
interview?
does a second interview at 16? I mean, you're either in or you're out.
I mean, go look at the signs right now. If you get somebody that applies, hire them.
Yeah.
Hire them.
What are we talking about, a second interview? But anyway, that's pretty. Well, I mean, she's excited, right? She's ready to go to work.
She is. I mean, we couldn't be more happy to get her involved. She starts to get to that age, right? Starting to get a little bit mature. She's a junior in high school, so she has responsibilities that she's getting ready to dig into. Hey, drive safe. Don't know if you saw the news or not. We had the gentleman in Kentucky sentenced to 25 years for his part in that accident in which he killed one and injured one.
And it was distracting.
Yep, yeah. and they go to it. And this is where I want the listeners of BCB Live to hear us. They said that he was distracted watching his video, watching his phone, his tablet, whatever, while driving, came into a construction zone, failed to stop, rear end, accidents happen, boom, one person dead, one person injured, 25 years. Let me just say this right here, Drive Safe. If you're driving the truck, there is no time to watch the video. This is not... That kind of goes against BCB Lives.
It does.
I want to make sure you know that if you're driving and you're watching the show, because producer, you can listen to it on the radio station.
Yes.
You can listen to it on YouTube.
Yes.
You can just listen to it. You don't have to watch it.
Well, yeah, even if you're here on the webinar, you can just plug your phone in and go for it. I know whenever I was not here and we had somebody else running the show, I just had it plugged in while I was driving my car. I had it in and I was listening to the show, and I mean, it runs well. I'm not, we're not professionals, but I like to think that we are, and it sounds just as good just listening to it as it does whenever you're watching the show.
Especially if you know the key players. I mean, you pretty much we started in radio.
Are you a key player?
I'm talent.
Are you a key? You're talent. Talent.
But in all actuality, you can listen and you can listen on your Bluetooth over the air. You can pipe it into your system, or you can listen on your headphones. I know a lot of people have the wireless headsets that they listen to on their phone with. So you can do all of those things. We don't want you watching the video. We don't want you looking at the camera. This driver is a great example of what you shouldn't be doing, because he had the video up on the dash and was watching the video instead of watching the road. And bad things occur when that happens. Distracted driving. We talk about that. We just don't want to make this show lead into something like that, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Take advantage of the technology that we have, the ability to listen to it on the radio. That's a key thing. You can listen to it. We'll hook you up a little bit. If you don't know, email us. We'll tell you how to get there. It's BCB Live. It's BCB-live.com. We'll take you to that website. Find a way to listen to the show, but don't do it unsafe. We just want to make sure that we're getting that point out. And drive safe, Dave. Kind of along that same thing, people that wouldn't have to listen to us are the driverless trucks.
Yeah,
right? I don't know if anybody watched Did you watch the 60 Minutes last night?
I did watch the 60 Minutes episode. I believe that was a rerun episode. I did watch it. Very interesting. All of the information. And they did pose great questions. There was a lot of information they gave out, a lot of things I didn't know.
Well, let's start here. So it was about driverless trucks.
Yeah.
You know, especially in Florida. There's a fleet of them running up and down the highway in Florida off of 75. And they brought drivers in, they brought them in, and they had them around the table talking about, asking questions. You know, the drivers were literally concerned about the safety part. Do we really trust these trucks? Do we really trust you know, what happens, Drive Safe Dave, when you're coming into an accident scene? It was a great question. And there's a police officer, DOT officer directing traffic. How does that follow that? How does that truck know to follow the hand signals? Now, keep in mind, these trucks that were running didn't have anybody in it.
Yeah, there wasn't a safe driver. There wasn't an alternate driver. These trucks are just designed to run without anyone in the tractor at all.
Hey, so before we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you want to talk about that, though, hey, raise your hand. Give Dylan an opportunity to call on you in about a minute or two. But Drive Safe Dave, going back to this, you know, they also talked about the cost of the truck. And while they didn't say what it will retail for, I don't believe, they did say that it's around about $250,000. And for a lot of people, they're going to say that's a lot of money. Just if it costs you $250,000 to buy this truck, if that's what the cost was, if it was $300,000 to buy it, would that scare you? Does the price scare you?
No, not at all. And considering what a brand new truck costs today at around $180 for a lot of, if you want to get all of the safety features on the truck, you're looking at around $180,000, $190,000 for a brand new truck with all the safety features that you want with the driver in it. So you're only looking at a little bit more expense to get all of this and no driver.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you're driving right now, and this is kind of where we want your opinion at. Hey, what are your thoughts about this? Because they talked about Drive Safe. It takes 2 days to go coast to coast because it only stops for fuel.
Yep.
There's no other reason for it to stop in which a human has to fuel it.
Right.
Right. So there's probably certain places it fuels up at. And so we gotta stop, pull over, fuel, and we get the full. Obviously, the truck pulls into the full service lane, right?
It pulls into the first service lane, does a tire check, but in what's interesting is that the truck never has to stop, never has to take a break, and doesn't need a log. There is no hourly log. There's no man hours. There's no downtime. Doesn't even have to take a 30-minute break. The truck can continuously run coast to coast, which is an incredible feat in and of itself, that it never stops. And if a truck never has to really stop, besides for fuel, you can go thousands of miles at a time and continue to run and make up great amount of time. Heck, you can get freight faster across the country. There is no quicker way. I can't even imagine a faster way to get freight across the country.
Yeah, you can, if you're, and for fuel consumption, let's think about that too. For a company that owns that tractor, put the fuel at 60 miles, or put the speedometer at 60 miles an hour.
Right.
Nobody's going to complain.
No.
There's no driver to complain.
Only the people behind the truck.
Only people behind the truck. But
Right.
So when it talks about fuel consumption, about reducing the fuel, the carbon footprint across America, there's a lot of positives on this. Producer, we got anybody out there that dares to question, is it better to have a driverless truck or to have a driver in it? Drive Safe, what's your thought?
Well, I truly believe right now, for my opinion, that there's so much more that goes into driving than just a computer. I'm going to say there are construction zones. There are times when leaving the roadway is important, and I don't know that the truck can do that. I don't know if ever you have to go around on the shoulder or if you ever have to do those things, if that unit does that. I didn't know any of that.
It turns in, so it's mounted with cameras all over the top of it. It sees things. It's making, they say 20, 25 real decisions like every half second,
I
something
think
like that. So it sees the vehicles all out there.
I think it's coming.
It should know, I would think. But yeah, those are good points to have. I mean, how does it know? Well, I think it looks to its right, looks to its left, and makes that decision. Those are some, when it gets to construction and items like that, that's what I would say would be an area of concern for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that the lines on the road are not indicative of where you need to be. They're broken pattern, broken lines, and stuff like that. So I don't really know. I did notice that when it did drive in the road, it stayed in the right lane the entire time. It didn't move over at all. It just stayed in the right lane on the freeway, and it stayed driving consistently. The only time that it moved to the middle was when the right lane disappeared up ahead. So, and I did watch some of that. It was very interesting. The video, it has a lot of, very, there's a lot of challenges coming up. I did like the questions posed that a lot of the information is not being given to the transportation industry. I mean, they're keeping it.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, I thought myself. But from a business perspective, Drive Safe, I mean, just imagine that truck can run. It never calls in sick.
Never.
You never have to recruit for that truck again. Once you've spent that money recruiting and that's buying the truck, it's with you forever, right? I mean, it's just there. You've just hired
a forever
employee.
Retention's good. I mean,
so we talked about this on the afternoon show quite a bit. We actually would do that for a while. And one of the questions that came up that I noticed that was a big thing was, while these trucks do provide like point A to point B, you have to question the ethical decisions that come about. So let's say, for example, we have a driver who's a four-wheeler who's coming in the wrong lane and is coming at this truck. This truck has to make a decision of, am I going to pull over and maybe hit somebody on my right side, or am I going to put myself in a safe position to hit this car in front of me? And making that decision is something that's going to take a long time. And I don't know if we have the technology to make a moral decision on the road yet, which is my concern with these kinds of trucks. I think that they provide a great efficiency boost and are better for the environment, but you do have to question the morality of certain decisions that come of that.
So what we do know is this, and I'm with you on this right here, but what we do know is that vehicle sees out further than the people do.
Correct.
So it's looking out further right now.
1,000 yards.
Yes, and when it's looking, it's also making some decisions. It's making decisions, what's on my right, what's on my left, what do I do? And it's always trying to make that right decision, much like I think a human's going to try to do.
Right.
And you know what? The difference in a human, though, and the technology, it is today, when we get into these accidents, trying to avoid something perhaps, well, you know what? The human, the trucking company, we tend to get sued because why did you make that decision? And my curiosity on this is, okay, well, who in that technology part of the business, right? Who from the technology is going to say, all right, that was our decision. That was the technology's decision that decided to maybe run into that school bus or because it had to do something. It had to do something, and the technology is what did that. Drive Safe, Dave. And who owns that? That's the part there that I haven't seen yet. I haven't even seen that question posed yet. But that's what gets me. Is like, man, who really is going to own that accident in the case of a fatality when it goes to court?
Yeah, I do believe that a lot of this is going to be based on the information that a computer doesn't have to. We have the luxury of making a moral decision, but we also have the penalty for making a moral decision. A computer doesn't have either. A computer is not judged by its decision. It's just a computer program. And to me, as long as it continues to do and operate the right way and the safe way, people aren't going to very genuinely question that right off the bat. I think it's going to be a little bit different line. Right now, we can second guess anybody's decision. We rarely second guess a computer decision on what it does.
But let's think about just the normal accidents that occurred today and the amount of those that happen from distracted driving,
Correct.
and from fatigued driving.
Correct.
Okay, well, those two alone,
almost gone.
well, they're gone. I mean, that's taken away in the event of this. And we can worry about, these trucks that are coming on, all the, the decisions that somebody's going to have to make. But what about the easy decision, from distracted driving? This driver in Kentucky that got sentenced to 25 years, let me tell you, if that was an autonomous vehicle, it wouldn't have been looking at the phone.
Nope.
It wouldn't have been looking at that. And what about that life right there? Let's add the sum of the totals of the accidents that occur from distracted driving, fatigue driving. That alone may be worth it. Drive safe, Dave. It's when you talk about a trucking industry, when you watch these videos as a driver right now, and I'm just curious, man, are you worried about 10 years from now? And most of you, let's face it, it's an aging workforce. 10 years from now, most of you don't care anyway. But what about the 30-year-olds that are driving, the 35-year-olds that are driving? In 10 years, is this going to be here in 10 years, Drive Safe?
I believe that some form of it will be here in 10 years. I think autonomous vehicles in some form will be on the roadway in 10 years. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's trucking, and it doesn't matter if it's just regular four-wheel. I think autonomous vehicles are coming, and we're going to judge them in the long term by the success and or failure, how they do, not only out there with each other, but also how they do out there with humans on the road.
Producer.
Yeah, and so Tommy Jones actually brought up a good point here in the chat. So he said, what about all the hacking we have going on right now? I mean, think about the amount of cyber attacks that have been happening on this industry. And if they get access to software, you get access to the communication that this truck is using, what kind of damage could that cause? And even if it's not damage, maybe just rerouting somewhere else. So if there's an important load in this truck and somebody hacks into the system and decides, well, now this is my load, and it goes to their place instead. There's a lot of things that need to be put into place prior to this. A lot of security.
I did see that one of the things that they mentioned on the show was that that even if the truck loses communication, it already has a preset pre-program. So even if you break communication or if you don't know, it doesn't send. It can still follow its last successive, set of commands.
but to the producer's point, and so that was a question when we were up in Kenworth. We asked them because that can happen today.
Absolutely.
And so they brought people in to their place, and their job, just like 2 weeks ago, was to hack into these trucks. Okay, so it is feasible. I mean, we know it, and that's a big concern. And it's not to, we talk about it, and a lot of people say, what happens when they take it and they run into something? But producer is 100% right. What about the folks that say, you know what, I think I'll take that trailer, and they bring it in, they route it into their place.
Yeah, it almost seems like I'm less concerned about somebody taking it and just deciding to ram the truck in. I think realistically, we're going to see people take the truck and say, this is thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of product in here. I'm taking the money. Yeah.
It'll be the safest hijacking ever, right?
And nobody will get hurt. Nobody will get hurt.
There. It'll stop.
There's none of this. There's none of this going on. Hey, step out of the vehicle. There's none of that going on.
All right. Hey, how about a little commercial break, and we will be right back.
So we're here doing a rapid fire with Gabby. So I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
No.
Sourdough or wheat?
I don't know what either means.
Bread.
Oh, wheat.
What do you want to live forever?
Yeah. Just not get old.
How many pull-ups can you do in a row?
5.
Favorite type of tea?
Tea. I don't know. Is there different kinds of teas?
There are. What's your favorite? Cake or pie?
Cake.
Godfather or Star Wars?
Don't know either.
How many times did you sneeze in the last 7 days?
I'm going to count, especially in the mornings.
Are rats cute?
Awesome. Not near me.
What's your favorite car?
Honda.
Last, do you know how to salsa dance?
I do.
Fantastic. Thanks.
All right. Hey, welcome back to BCB Live. And as we start getting the show ready for the safety portion with Buckle Up Bob and Dale, we talk about Drive Safe Dave, about distracted driving. We talked about it with the autonomous vehicle, about how they don't have that distraction, how they're going to react in certain situations. Right now, I want us to look at some videos, and we have 4 videos of I thought some great videos that show, speed and spacing and produce. Just go ahead and show them while we're talking. We can look at this very first one here. This is look at this. First of all, four-wheelers out there. I mean, why? Why do that? Well, there's a truck coming upon me. Well, that's not the time to pass it. You know what? That's just a crazy, dangerous video right here of a vehicle that just comes and cuts us off. Driver did a great job of maintaining control, right? Didn't get freaked out or anything. Probably saw him coming, had the brakes on, if I remember right. But just some, when you watch this video here and we talk about expect the unexpected, it's real. I mean, things are happening out here on the highway, and we just got to make sure that we are ready for them. We're looking in our mirrors. We're looking and seeing who's getting ready to do something crazy to me today, right now as I'm driving. Here's another one right here. We're just driving down the highway. Everything looks good. I've actually liked another great video here in which, look, we see this, and we talked about this, 2 weeks ago, I think. It made the cut again as this truck is crossing over the highway, but the driver, again, maintaining control, maintaining their distance, maintaining just, that looking ahead is what we love to see. And we want to make sure that when we are crossing these over here, Drive Safe, that we're not doing the same thing.
Yeah, you never want to put your sail opposite or perpendicular to the roadway like that in a dangerous situation. I'm not even sure exactly what was in. I mean, you just don't do this. I mean, seriously, you've placed yourself in a massively dangerous situation. Even when you encounter these roadways and doing this, you should have your flashers on when you come up on this to identify everybody behind you that you see something happening and let them know, because you never know if there's a distracted driver in the left-hand lane. Give yourself an opportunity and start communicating early that, hey, I see something. So flip your flashers on. Driver did a great job going around the deal, but I would slow down and let everybody know behind me that there's a problem.
Yeah, and we had a lot of feedback on that, this one a couple weeks ago. That's when, as the driver, you just go down to the next turn.
100%.
Yes, and you keep going. You don't block that lane right there. And we talk about kind of like the stale green lights is you get in that area of no return, and maybe he thought he had it open, he was going to go, and then a car came upon him, and now this driver crossing over, he's stuck.
Yep.
He's stuck. And only bad things can happen at that point.
Yeah, this right here is bad.
All right, we're looking at this one here, and these are some of my favorite videos right here. When the one thing you do see is this. You see traffic running away. And that's the part that we'd like to see. Traffic continues to just run away from us. We're not gaining on anybody, and that is critical when we talk about safe driving. We talk about speed and space. When you're letting traffic run away from you, there's a pretty good chance you're going to increase your space in there.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this video is it is not super. There is traffic in a 4-lane. You're in a metropolitan area, obviously 100%. But what's really nice, you're not blocking any traffic, but you are maintaining a good speed, a good space, and just letting it flow. And you moving through you can see the city off in the distance. And you're just flowing through, and it's actually a very good way to.
Hey, Dave, I want you to talk about that one more time. You talked about that, and you bring this up quite a bit, the amount of lanes that are out there. Things that we, as out there driving on the highway in a 4-wheeler or in a truck, this means a few things, right? It means you're entering into a larger city.
Oh, yeah. That just means you're entering into a high-traffic area that was built and designed for many, many people. And you're not going to find that out there on the open road. You're only going to basically find 8 lanes of traffic, or 10 lanes of traffic is what you have here on both sides, and an HOV lane. You're going to find these in the highly populated areas, heavily trafficked areas, and this is probably during a non-rush hour time, but you've got to expect, whenever you get in there, you've got to expect these moments, these times that you're going to find traffic. And
Yes,
you're
it's
going-
time to slow down. It's time
Absolutely.
to expect possible highways merging together. Lots of things to expect, but as a driver, what we want you to do is realize the situation you're in. You see a lot of lanes, and at this point, it's time to slow down. It's time to let that traffic run away from you. Phenomenal driving right here from the driver that sent this in. Great job, producer. What else we got? Here we go. A little bit of rain. Drive safe.
Yeah, it's inclement weather. You're going to encounter it out there on the road.
So go faster,
No.
right? What? I mean,
No, you don't go faster. But as you'll notice in this, the traffic is moving away from us, doing the exact same thing. We've encountered a situation just like if it were traffic, if it were any other situation, you back off, you slow down, and you give some space. I can't even see the vehicle in front of me. I can't even see the vehicle in front of me on my lane. There's no one there. So you're doing a great job. You have plenty of time to control your lane and your speed. Great job and doing a fantastic positioning yourself very well in that regard.
Yeah, and you notice who the one is that's leading that pack and making the best decision. It's that A player, right? It's the number one. It's that expert, the truck driver, that is slowing down, maintaining his speed and his space. The four-wheelers cruising on by in the rain like nothing's going on. Great job and way to act and way to control that highway. You are the kings and the queens of the highways, and that's what we'd like to see, you controlling it, you being a leader in so many ways, in how you act out there. When we watch these videos, and producer, I want you to show that first video too, because I want you to also know that when you're driving in the rain, you're letting your cars pass you, all of that is that you've got to use your mirrors to expect some craziness from the four-wheelers when they're coming out of nowhere just to get in front of you with it. That is nuts right there, Dave.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that was just a moment of frustration by the four-wheeler having been behind the 18-wheeler and then found an opening and then wanted to let the 18-wheeler know his displeasure for being a big truck on an open road. I mean, a lot of the times four-wheelers will view trucks as only an obstacle in which they have to go around or which impedes their ability to drive out there on the road. And unfortunately, that means they don't view the truck as a driver behind the wheel. They view it as an object out there on the road, which is not what needs to happen. We have to share the road with each other, and we have to understand that behind each vehicle, right now, each vehicle is a person, and what they're doing. And doing things like this is just mean and unsafe.
Hey, I don't know what that phrase that pays has to do with, but certainly has to do with one of these four videos we saw today. Drive safe, Dave. Can you give us that phrase that pays?
Situation awareness is always key to keep the road safe for you and me.
One more time.
Situation awareness is always key to keep the road safe for you and me.
Hey, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to use that phrase that pays and use that on one of those videos we saw and kind of go with that one.
Well, I'll tell you, we'll do the rain event. The rain event, all of a sudden, no matter what you're doing, you realize that this is not normal driving. This isn't a normal speed, and it has to be reduced because the conditions on the road have been done. And you have to be aware of the situation in which you're in. And the situation you're in is inclement weather. And you're running your windshield wipers. Your lights need to be on. You need to be watching the flow of traffic, and you need to make sure that you go slower and that you can keep control of the vehicle and you control that space in front of you. And, you know, if you do those things right there, you make the road safe for you and me.
Wow. Spoken like a true star.
This is Drive Safe Dave here. Going to do another safety show about Get Out and Look. Ben Turner's hooking up, and he's going to reposition the trailer into a new spot. He's going to demonstrate in the rain what it means to get out and look. Here we are outside getting wet, but you know what? It does not deter Ben of doing the right thing by getting out of the trailer and walking back and making sure it is safe back there before he backs up into the spot. He checks all the way around the trailer and then comes back and gets in the truck. Notice the lights are flashing. He blows the horn and starts the process of getting back into the spot. Here he is concluding it. Flasher's still going. making sure that he's visible and everybody knows what's going on. But you know what? Another reason this is successful is because he chose to get out and look the BCB way. Thanks, everybody, and have a great and safe day.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Buckle Up Bob. Dale is here. He's putting on his gear, and we've got the producer as well. As a continuation from last week, we're going to focus on brakes. And so this week we're going to give some of our statistics and anything else that we can do to just get the importance across of how important this is. And so what I did was I went back, and we've had 59 vehicle violations, a total of 59. 39% of those, or 23, have been brakes. So again, folks, this is the biggest portion of our points budget, if you will. And we'll give some out of service numbers as well, because I also believe it leads in that category as well. So as you can see, 23 of 59, it was 38.99 something percent. So basically 39% of all of our vehicle related violations that were showing on the report when I ran it are due to the brakes, from various things, from air leaks to brakes out of adjustment, to hose tubing, just all the things that you've got to be looking for, and you've got to make it a priority. Again, man, that's a lot when you stop and think of what we could have done with our CSA score. Probably would have, lowered us from 66 to under the 50 percentile, I'm going to imagine, because as we know, brakes and tires are typically the highest points. So we want to get the habit of that, and expect some announcements this week. I don't know yet, but we've got to do something, to avoid the brake violations and the out of services. Hey, but we are at the big 9-0, the big 3 months today without a preventable accident and without a preventable DOT. Great job, everybody. And we're at 5 days of get out and look. No backing accidents in 5 days. We were hit the last couple of times. So, again, still not safe even when we're sitting there doing nothing. But, as you can see, it's not just a BCB issue that we're trying to tackle, but we have, this is industry-wide, right? Yeah. Because I'd say the majority of some of our sitting still accidents were when we were backed into. So even though it's not us, it's still a backing problem is an issue in this industry. And so, sometimes you can't do nothing when you're at a customer. I mean, you're in the dock they told you to go to, and it is what it is. Maybe if you see that it's tight when you get in there, signal that driver. Get out and help that driver back in there to help guide you if you're able to. Show that courtesy and extend. Remember, we're about preventing all accidents, even when we're sitting still, if we can. Now, sometimes there's nothing you can do. And then, of course, where do you pick at a truck stop, right? Sometimes you don't have a choice, but when you do, find that one that's away from the
entrance or scale.
Yeah, the high traffic areas, the fuel pumps, bad area to be by, and places where people are going to be driving frequently through. And that includes the four-wheelers, because a lot of times they're coming in and around there, and then here comes a truck trying to dodge them, and they end up hitting you. So just kind of stay away from them high traffic areas. Hey, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we will be right back with some weather. All right, hey, welcome back. And you can see down here, there's Fred, right, coming up the coast. Now getting ready to hit the panhandle. We'll put that into motion. Kind of see what it's doing. It's kind of pushing mainly straight up north right there. And then we'll kind of see the wind gusts when we go. There's his eye, and the edges are just getting there. So we'll kind of see what happens tomorrow. You can see it's going to go straight up, maybe even drift a little to the west. It's down here now, so just slightly, but before it turns. So you can see Alabama, Georgia tomorrow getting some rain. And then it moves up into the Carolinas. You can see it loses a lot of its punch. It's now just a storm. We'll look at there it is. You can kind of see the rain, heavy thunderstorms right there on that I-81, right? You're going right along just east of there as you go up Tennessee into Virginia. So it's going to be hitting you there on about Wednesday. So obviously moving a little bit slow as we go. But let's look at the wind gusts for the today and tomorrow. Currently, not much going on. And you can see up here in Montana, we got some near 40s. So we're going to watch that area if you're up there. But the rest of the country, pretty good. Kansas, some 30s wind gusts this afternoon. In the evening hours, you know, it dies down for everybody but the West. You see the Northwest, California, not what those firefighters need is winds. But again, you can see right up here is where that fire is. And so we're going to watch that area. Up here in the Flagstaff area, you've also got a chance for some strong wind gusts in the 40 to 45 mile an hour range. Tomorrow morning, it kind of dies down a little bit for us. Here's Fred sitting right there in Atlanta, or the Georgia-Alabama border. And then tomorrow afternoon, there we go. You can see the winds are starting to make a comeback here, folks. We've been dodging them for quite a while, so we're going to keep an eye on this. You can see pretty much Nevada, Utah, Idaho, western Wyoming, California areas, all going to see some wind. And then again in the north, middle part of the country, the Dakotas up in the mid to upper 30 mile an hour gusts as well. Let's see if it dies down tomorrow evening. Not a whole lot. You can see it does die as usual, but not much. It looks like we're in for about 72 hours of some pretty gusty winds throughout the country. See what the rain's going to do. And there's Fred spinning down there. So this afternoon, we got some, I didn't realize it was forecast, but we got some rain this weekend. It popped up on Saturday. But there you can kind of see the whole southern part of the country from Arizona all the way out to the Carolinas has some chance for rain this afternoon, including Dallas a little bit. And you can see Kansas, Oklahoma, the entire eastern up ahead of Fred there for tomorrow. And then tomorrow morning, just that East Coast and a little bit out here in West Texas and Arizona, and then southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, right there in that Ohio Valley could see some. And then tomorrow afternoon, same thing as today. You can see from the East Coast all the way out to Phoenix, and then a few more up in Utah as well. One of the things that we are watching right now, they have named it. Here's the next one, and it's Grace, okay? Right now, their forecast is to come right in about here. So Brownsville could see some rain. We're going to keep an eye on that and see what it does afterwards. But right now, if it comes across Cuba and that in the mountains, they think it might just kind of break up. But if it stays together, it's going to reconstruct and have pick up some strength. Currently 35 mile an hour winds, but they are expecting that to reach 50 by the time it hits landfall. So we'll see if it gains any more strength than that, becomes a hurricane. Otherwise, just a tropical storm. And they have named her Grace. So this is Tropical Storm Grace. They originally thought it was going to follow a lot of Fred's path, but now the latest models are showing it. Let me show you, see if this one agrees. And think about Friday. There you go. So they've got it coming a little bit south, but the Weather Channel has it coming up right in about here at this bay, and then Brownsville should be right there on the tip down in here. So again, that's where they're kind of expecting it to be late Friday, maybe Friday afternoon into early Saturday mornings when it actually makes landfall. So we'll keep an eye on that one, see what it's going to do to us for our South Texas loads by the weekend, or maybe even Friday we might start seeing some. And yes, there is another one behind it. Right now it is Tropical Depression number 8. I'm sorry, it's not behind it. This one here is tropical. It's coming up on Bermuda. And so what this is expected to do is it is expected to intensify, but it's supposed to just do a little clock. You know, it'll come down here, it'll drop south and go around. It'll inch closer, but it's not expected to come ashore. The Carolinas could see a ½ inch to 1 inch rain from the outer bands of this. That's about as good as it gets, and maybe some 7-foot waves. But they're not expected to see a whole lot. But Bermuda, oh, there it is. Near Hamilton there, I guess. Is that Bermuda? The only thing I see, so it's got to be. right in here is just kind of supposed to go right around a little bit and grow in diameter, but not expected to hit landfall for us. So again, it's that time of the year that we're going to keep an eye on watching these storms as they develop. You can see a lot of activity coming off of Africa. So again, every one of these has a chance to develop, and so we'll just be keeping an eye. It is that time of year. August is typically the hotbed for hurricanes season. It's at the height of it, and then it does push into September as well. So we've had a pretty mild summer. So if we have one of these late summers that gets hotter at the end of it, that's when it could develop into some more storms. Hopefully it stays mild because none of these have really had any kind of energy to push through and become a tropical or a hurricane. So we'll keep an eye on all that, but there's a lot of activity coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll just keep an eye on it and see if we can keep everybody alert of what might happen. And with that, we'll take a break and be back with some videos.
Hi, welcome. I have Heather here from our dispatch team. She's a DM. Many of you may have her as a DM. Lucky you. We're going to do a rapid fire. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Dawn or dusk?
Ooh, dusk.
Favorite season?
Spring.
What's for dinner tonight?
Ooh, probably something out of the freezer.
How many pull-ups can you do in a row?
0.
Are reindeers real creatures?
Yes.
Are you politically correct?
No.
Do you know how to salsa dance?
No.
And your favorite type of muffin?
Ooh, blueberry.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, welcome back.
Hey, let's take a look at some videos this morning and see what we got going on out there. Hey, there's one, we talk about situational awareness a lot. Here's one with some situational awareness. We're tailgating here, getting up too close, and we're not in the lane that we need to be. The interstate's splitting here, and we're in the wrong lane. And so we tailgate up here and make a late lane change. Situational awareness, know your route or plan ahead. Get into the right lanes ahead of time so we don't get into this situation, because we're actually crossing a solid white line, which is you're not supposed to do that. You should be in the right lane by this time. And again, at 70 miles an hour, we're definitely tailgating or we're following too close here. So, be aware of your situation, know where your lanes are, where your exits are ahead of time, and get to where you need to be so you don't run into that type of situation.
Yeah, there's something else that we see here too. It looks to me as we have a damaged windshield. Folks, just a reminder, the CSA book gives the DOT all the freedom on this. Basically, if it's a rock chip, it cannot be more than about 3/4 of a diameter. However, there's a second paragraph that says damage, and it doesn't describe the limits or what meets damage. So technically, they can do anything. You can already see this is spidering, and it's clearly outside of 3/4 of an inch. Again, driver managers, when you're watching these videos, and again, this is part of the training that we're going to do. Scott's back, so we're going to get some schedules set up, but you have to be looking for this so we can help our drivers not get a bad roadside inspection and help the company keep off of the vehicle maintenance. Drivers, you cannot accept this kind of damage on your windshield. It must be fixed. You are responsible for taking the equipment out on the highway and telling any officer that it's compliant, and in this case, it is not.
All right, this is a great one, where the weather is going on. We got rain, we got wet roads, and yet we've slowed down for it. It gives us plenty of speed and space management as traffic ahead of us is slowing down. We've already slowed down. We've got that space management. Just a great example of, of driver doing everything correct. I mean, slowing down for the weather and the roads, plenty of speed and space management. Great job, driver. And this one, we're on one of those rural 2-lane roads. Tough intersection coming up, but you can see, they've had a lot of rain. There's mud and water across the road. Our driver slowed down plenty ahead of time, got to, made sure we were going the right speed for what was coming up and everything, and gets himself set up for, a tough corner. Like I said, it's a blind right-hand thing, and so he's getting himself turned into it. But, nice job of being aware of what's going on ahead, taking a look at the road, and getting yourself, slowed down and stopped in time.
Yeah, and here's one where planning's got to come up because this is dangerous to even be on this road. And I wonder if it's legal. Again, it could be, but as you can see, we've got to make almost a U-turn here to go the right direction. So it just comes with some planning, especially in areas, when you're in these rural areas, you've got to go to maps or whatever app we can use to help guide you, and you can find out what's the safest. This is unsafe. Not to mention we're going to be in a jackknife situation to make the right turn, and we're taking up the other lane.
Again, this is just a nice job of showing us, slowing down weather conditions and how we have to slow down and how important speed management is. We're going slow here and we have to stop for the red light, and there's no panic or anything going on there. So it just reiterates how important, managing your speed is for the road conditions, weather conditions, traffic conditions. So really nice job by the driver here.
Yeah, a lot of the cars there have their four-ways on.
Well,
great job.
And last week we talked about giving the emergency responders space and slowing down for them. Here's a great example where we do that. If you'll notice, we have a guy just step out from that fire truck. He's getting his gear on. And so if we don't give him that type of space, the potential of hitting him is there. So really nice job. And again, this one just really shows the importance of slowing down, giving them space, because you never know when somebody's going to step away from a vehicle.
Terrific job. Hey, a lot of good videos there. Really only one big critique. And again, it wasn't horrible. It's just, hey, we can do it just a little bit safer.
Yeah, yep. And you're right about that windshield. You take a look at that, and the spidering is probably the thing that'll get you in trouble if you get pulled over for it. Because like you said, quarter is usually, if you can put a quarter over it and it doesn't go out from there, generally not too much trouble with it. But if it starts spidering out from it, that's when they start questioning and give you a hard time with it.
Absolutely. Hey, we got any calls this morning, producer? Is everybody quiet on a Monday? Sometimes Mondays they just don't want to wake up and get going.
Yeah.
I know I'm that way too occasionally on a Monday. But again, hey, 90 days, everybody. We got to keep it going. And again, I just want to focus on brakes. Folks, we're investigating one where a trailer was dropped with no brakes. That is unacceptable. So again, doing the investigation and making sure that all the facts are what they seem to be and things of that nature. But just a reminder, if you're not checking this or if you found something, you're not to take the equipment. You have to report it. You have to get it repaired, or at least report it so we can make a decision. Hey, is it best to get you off of this and send service? Is it best to have you drop this off at a shop and then move on to another load? Whatever the case may be. But we've got to get them fixed. You cannot ignore this. If you're ignoring this, then you're really ignoring our focus and situational awareness, which is to protect life. Because if you're taking a trailer with no brakes or bad brakes or defaulty brakes, then you're not protecting life, and you're absolutely not protecting the company.
Yeah, and Bob, I want to take a step further. When we go to do our pre-trips, part of a good pre-trip is checking and making sure all the paperwork is there, that our inspections are up to date. I'm hearing some rumblings out there that a lot of our I shouldn't say a lot of our trailers, but there's some trailers out there that, the inspections are past due. Part of your job on your pre-trip is take a look at, is that trailer inspection past due? If it is, you need to get it inspected. I mean, that goes a long ways to getting the brakes checked right there. If it's past due on an inspection, take it to Love's, get that trailer inspection updated, let your DM know you did it, get the paperwork in so we can get it updated in the system.
Absolutely correct. Anybody yet, producer? All right, everybody. Well, I guess we'll just take a little bit of a break here, and we'll be right back with Ache Erde, maybe.
Hi, this is Drive Safe Dave. We're here this afternoon. We're going to show the proper way that BCB drops a trailer, whether it be on the yard or a customer or anywhere. We're going to show how we do it. That way we all do it together exactly the same way and there's no confusion. All right, here we go. Here's DJ getting out of the truck, and he's going to demonstrate the proper BCB way to drop a trailer anywhere. Notice how DJ is placing one hand on the trailer while he's cranking for support and to keep from hurting his back. He's going to walk to the back and show exactly what not to do when you drop the trailer. Notice how he's cranking hard on the trailer legs, trying to lift the trailer, and in essence, he's lifting the tractor. DJ is dumping the airbags, lowering the weight onto the legs of the trailer, and then he's going to release the kingpin and pull out from underneath the trailer smoothly.
You'll pick up the trailer, you lay it in, it's not too low, it's at the perfect height, so when he comes in, all the pressure will be off the landing gear. Good job.
As DJ backs up underneath the trailer, he's picking it up off of the legs. Notice how you're not pushing on the legs, you're actually pushing on the tandems and the wheels and the brakes, what it is intended to do.
All the pressure off the legs, he's lifted it, and he's only tugged on the trailer. He hasn't tugged on the legs to the landing gear. He's only tugged the rear brakes. Now we know that the vehicle is secure to the tractor, and that way, all he's got to do is hook up his airlines, do his pre-trip, and he's good to go.
Safety can be seen just about anywhere.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Just kind of want to remind everyone once again that schools are starting back up. So be watching for those four-wheelers. There's going to be extra traffic out there, extra kiddos everywhere. Watch those school zones. Just really keep that in mind as everything gears back up and everyone heads back in. Today we've got one birthday. It's for Alicia Greenwright. Happy birthday to you. And then we have two anniversaries. They are welcome backs. Cassie Finch and Becky Jewell. They have been back with BCB for a year now, so congratulations on that. Everyone, please keep wearing your mask, wash your hands, use that antibacterial. Have a great and safe day. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to Rapid Fire. Today we are joined by Ben. This should be fun. Have you ever tasted soap?
No.
Do you currently own any stuffed animals?
Yes.
Can you tell us what they are?
Bears, I guess.
Fun. Polka dots or stripes?
Polka dots.
Would you go to a movie alone?
Yes.
What's a country you'd be okay never visiting in your life?
Spain.
Would you eat a day-old taquito from 7-Eleven?
No.
And for a journal, would you use paper or a computer?
Paper.
Are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable?
Fruit.
And finally, Super Mario Brothers or Zelda?
Mario Brothers.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back, everybody. It is Buckle Up, Bob. Hey, just a couple reminders. Tomorrow, we have Kenny Ray from our insurance, ex-DOT officer, to talk about brakes and stuff. And he's going to be on about this time, give or take. He'll be here at 7:45, but as soon as, depending on your questions, we're going to try to get to him early, because if you have a lot, write them down and be ready for him. He is an excellent resource for each and every one of you. Thursday, we will have the guy that develops a lot of the brake systems for these trucks, for the Volvos, I believe, and things and trailers and stuff. So we'll be able to talk with him as well. So we'll have another special guest on Thursday, right? So just kind of be ready for that. Have your questions ready. And then don't forget Wednesday, at 10:30, getting a lot of great feedback from our drivers, where we're just kind of picking a regulation in the book and talking about it, asking your questions. This is a great way for me to study the book. And then if I've got any questions or you bring up any that I don't know, then it forces me to go get that answer for you. So again, we all get better, and that's the purpose of it. So don't forget about that. Tuesday and Thursday morning this week, we will have special guests talk about brakes in lieu of the brake safety week that starts this coming weekend. And then on Wednesday, we're going to go through the regulations. Each Wednesday we'll pick one. If you've got one, please send it to BCB Live, to the producer or myself, and we'll try to research it and have it on especially for you. Get the word out. Right now we're up to about 35 people on the show, maybe a little bit better on some days. So again, we want to continue to see that grow. These rules are huge for me to get answers and for you to give your advice on what you do to be in compliance with those rules. Hey, everybody, we're going to close with a quick prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for another week, Lord, that we can live our lives as your will, to bring you glory, Heavenly Father. You know, the purpose of you saving us was not so that we go to heaven. Yes, that's a big plus, but it was for us to bring you glory by living on this earth in this life in a way that is fitting to your Son, Jesus Christ. Lord, we have a lot of people that need you each and every day. So we extend the prayers out to all the families stricken with this COVID uprise again. Lord, we pray that just common sense takes over, that political and all that gets out of it, but that your precious lives that you granted each and every one of us is protected from this virus in whatever ways and means. Lord, let us put our selfish and foolish pride away and just be respectful and love one another by wearing masks and washing, right? And if we deem the right thing to do, get the shot, Lord. That's something that you've allowed us to invent to protect us. Heavenly Father, we just want to continue to protect and pray for the strength and courage for our dear brother Larry Graham as he continues to battle. What a great blessing you bestowed on us to get to see him last Friday, you know, and give him a good day so that he could come and enjoy a little bit with his BCB family, Heavenly Father. Lord, we continue to pray for the wisdom, Brian and Sir Rick, Lord, that they lead this company well, that they not only lead it in from the business standpoint, but from the spiritual standpoint too as well, Lord, as we all keep our focus on you. Everything we have is granted from you and by your precious grace and mercy. And it is in your Son's name we pray these things. Amen. Welcome. Hey, welcome back. Sorry. Hey, everybody. We will see everybody this afternoon. Thank you.